These are the minutes of the meeting of the first Joint Committee meeting, India-UAE SEPA. His Excellency Dr. Thani Zeyoudi, Union Minister of State for Foreign Trade, UAE, and Honorable Union Minister for Commerce Industry, Human Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Textiles, Piyush Goyal, senior dignitaries from both the countries, and my friends from media. Friends, the historic India-UAE SEPA was signed last year on 18 February between the two nations. It came into effect on 1st of May last year. Without any further ado, I'll request His Excellency to make the opening remarks.
Thank you. Let me start by thanking my dear brother and friend Piyush Goyal, Minister of Commerce and Industry, for his generous welcome and for his unyielding commitments to enhancing the UAE-India relations. Since his colleagues, media, friends, it's better to be back here today in India, a country that always offers unrivaled warmth and hospitality. And to those relations are here to celebrate this week. Is now just over a year since we implemented the comprehensive
sound.
Yeah. It's now just over a year since we started the implementation of UAE-India Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. And as we gather here in the city where this landmark deal was signed, it is a chance to reflect on the remarkable journey our nations have taken together. The new collaboration formed, the new customers reached, and the new friendships made will ensure that this partnership and prosperity continue to deliver for the people of all nations. Importantly, we will also provide more exciting new opportunities to both the new ventures in months and years ahead. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, one of the central goals of the UAE-India SEPA was to increase the flow of goods and services between the UAE and India, and by doing so, stimulate key sectors, drive industrial output, and kickstart an exciting new era of progress. There can be a little question that our deal is having the desired impact. Our initial figures suggest that the first 12 months of our SEPA bilateral non-trade reached $50.5 billion. That is 5.8% increase on the corresponding period a year earlier. For context, these figures came amid a sharp decline in global trade in Q3 and Q4 in 2022, proving that we have created the real nexus of growth. Even more impressive that the figures from Q1 2023. In the first 3 months of the year, total bilateral trade reached $13.2 billion, 16.3% growth and increase in comparison to the previous quarter. It's also notable that the export from India rose 24.5% in Q1, which demonstrates the UAE's role as a gateway to the world, an important bridge between India exporters and the market, Middle East, Europe, and Africa. But we know that there is a much more this partnership can deliver. Right now, our teams are concluding the first UAE-India Joint Committee and a body created to review and refine the terms of SEPA and to ensure it continues to work for the benefits of our both nations. It has shared vital data, showcase successes, and where appropriate highlight the challenges and area of future focus. And any partnership requires honest, open dialogue, and the outcomes of the committee will point a way towards a better, more productive framework. And this is, for me, is the main result of the last 12 months. Two countries working in an environment of trust and compromise to create opportunities to all. I'm looking forward to the next steps that we will take on this journey together. Again, thank you for the media colleagues, and thank you to my dear friend for the leadership and support.
Thank you very much, my good friend, His Excellency Dr. Thani bin Ahmed Al Zeyoudi, the Honorable Minister of State for Foreign Trade of UAE, for kindly consenting to visit India, along with a large delegation of officials and business persons, on behalf of the government and all the people of India, I extend a very warm welcome to you, Excellency. It is indeed a delight to meet and exchange views with Dr. Thani. And over the last 2.5, 3 years of our significant engagements very frequently, I have found in Dr. Thani a very modern, progressive thinker, yet a very sensitive human being who appreciates issues relevant to India and is able to quickly take decisions which have certainly helped in concluding the free trade agreement, the comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the UAE in a world record time of 88 days. Thank you, Excellency, for your leadership and for your continued commitment to expanding the UAE-India partnership. I consider this press conference very important because we've just concluded the first joint committee meeting under the SEPA, and I believe significant outcomes and decisions have been taken to iron out the initial issues that some of our businesses had faced. We have also agreed to look at working more closely together to find solutions for some of the other issues which have been flagged off on both sides. Our bilateral trade, of course, has seen a significant increase in the last 12 months, but a lot of it also had an element of petroleum imports and exports on both sides. Therefore, we have mutually agreed that let us now become more ambitious, and instead of our earlier target of an overall $100 billion bilateral trade by 2030, we have mutually agreed that we shall now look at a non-petroleum bilateral trade of $100 billion by 2030, which means doubling our non-petroleum trade from 48 billion today to 100 billion in the next 7 years. On a personal note, both Dr. Thani and I believe and are committed to doing much more, but we are guided by our officials to, at the present juncture, talk about $100 billion. My own sense is when we come back to you to report after the second joint committee next year, possibly we would be in a position to increase this target even further. And we are going to encourage our businesses to expand this trade. We're going to encourage our service sector to expand this bilateral trade. We have a business engagement soon after this press conference. And the smooth implementation of the SEPA will encourage and help us achieve very significant milestones going forward into the future. We have also agreed to establish various committees and subcommittees and also technical councils concerned with the implementation of various provisions of the SEPA, such as trade in goods, customs facilitation, rules of origin, SPS and TBT issues, trade remedies, investment facilitation, and economic cooperation. So all the requisite frameworks have now been put in place, and therefore I feel very encouraged to see the growth of our bilateral trade. An important decision of the joint committee was to set up a new subcommittee for handling matters related to trade in services. We have decided to exchange services trade data, preferential and on a most favored nation basis on a quarterly basis going forward. We have also agreed to set up a UAE-India SEPA Council that will serve as a vehicle for both governments and the export-oriented private sector to facilitate the implementation of SEPA by creating awareness, building partnerships, organizing business events in both countries in the true spirit of SEPA. And for this council, the focus area that we have mutually agreed will be our MSME sector, will be our startups, will be our women entrepreneurs, will be our service sector participants, so that newer areas and more inclusive participation can be ensured rather than just very high level discussions. We really want this council to be a outcome oriented council. Friends, the UAE and India are not competitors almost in anything. We complement each other. We collaborate with each other. And we have also discussed several areas where we are going to expand our collaboration, our mutual cooperation, and take this relationship to the next level in the months and years to come. I'm quite confident that this will help us set new benchmarks, new targets, and truly take this partnership to very, very great heights in the future. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Thani, for your partnership, for the brotherhood between the two people and the two countries. Thank you for taking care of millions of Indians who live in your country. Thank you for the opportunities that are provided to Indians in the UAE and to our small and entrepreneurial businesses from India to expand trade between UAE and India.
Now we begin our question and answer session. So you can raise your hand and introduce yourself. Hi, Stan, Sivan from Beyond. My question to you is, are there any discussions on trading in national currencies? And if yes, if you can give an update as to when we can see trading in national currencies from both sides.
I think you can give the background of the discussion.
Well, let me just go back.
Yeah.
Let me go back on the history. Just a year ago, it was an idea which was floated by His Excellency Piyush Goyal during a meeting with His Highness Sheikh Ahmed on the sideline of the high-level investment committee. And we took it forward, both the central banks and the relevant authorities here in India have been in discussion on that. We reach a level where it has been concluded when it comes to studies. We're just looking forward for the signing ceremony of the agreement between both parties. The details are going to be announced during the or after the signing. So I'll keep it to the central banks to from both sides to give the details on the topic, or maybe His Excellency Piyush might elaborate more. But I want to just mention something here. It shows how flexible, how agile this relations. Things being discussed in less than a year, now it's concretely moving forward. And this is the nature of the relation between both countries. We're looking forward for more ideas which we can grow up and expand from and based on the discussion from both parties.
Well, I think this is truly reflective of the agility and the openness with which this partnership has grown. I still recall that it was in March of 2022 when, post our formal meetings in a very informal deliberation, His Highness Sheikh Hamid and I think Master Sudhir and our Joint Secretary and Chief Negotiator handling UAE, Srikar Reddy, were with me when we got talking about how we can make business more attractive between the two countries, how we can help our business persons reduce operating costs and transaction costs, And the germs of this rupee dirham trade were actually sown in that meeting. It's just about a year since then, but both countries have made significant progress. The Reserve Bank of India and the Central Bank of UAE have been in very active dialogue. The Ministry of Finance is very supportive and handling the entire issue. And I'm sure, given the high level engagement on both sides, given the active pursuit of working together, not only on rupee dirham trade, but also on other digital technologies becoming a part of the UAE India framework, I think we have very good things which will be offered to both nations in the coming months. We will await the final outcomes and the decisions. Well, we are both two countries which are anxious to do more and to do things fast. So while we never set timelines, even when we started the FTA, we never set a timeline, but we were able to do it in under 3 months. So I think I can only say this, that it's progressing at a very fast pace. And when His Highness and Prime Minister Modi are committed to something, you know that both leaders are very decisive, very outcome oriented. So you can imagine good outcomes very soon.
As Rishikesh from the Press Trust of India. So my question is, as India is one of the biggest gold importer, so are there any mechanism being developed to boost gold import under SEPA? And my second question is a dirham being used by India to trade with any third country?
Well, as of now, UAE is one of our largest suppliers, only after Switzerland possibly, of gold. And we would like to encourage that trade even further with the UAE. Because of our mutual friendship and understanding, we have given concessions for import of gold from UAE, which is refined and produced in the UAE. And operationalizing that concession had some issues which have been sorted out now. And this year, we hope that there will be able to be full imports under the SEPA, so that the duty benefit can be enjoyed by our Indian gold and jewelry sector, which also has a very big market in UAE. There's a huge market for Indian jewelry, Indian products made out of gold, and therefore this will be a mutually beneficial partnership. I must also share with you that we are looking at other ways to expand and engage our partnership on processing and working together on value addition in gold and gold products, which we will announce in due course. But as I said, every meeting with Dr. Thani seeds some new ideas. And today also we have engaged very extensively on several new ideas, some of which you will hear in the months to come. As far as dirham and rupee bilateral trade is concerned, currently we are looking at trading between the two countries. Once that gets operationalized, we will see whether there's potential to expand that further. Thank you.
Meghna Mittal from Moneycontrol. You said that a committee will be formed to look at expanding into services, the trade. My question is that which services could be looked at for expansion for India-UAE SEPA, and by when should we expect, like in a quarter or so, for it to come into effect?
I'll let Dr. Thani answer that, but I think you are in a greater hurry than the government today.
But the both trades and services and goods have already started since the implementation last May. But what we agreed upon today is to establish a council dedicated to ensure that there is a business to business from both sides are discussing and initiating the flow of both sectors moving forward. And that is going to focus on service, MSMEs, startups, and women entrepreneurs as well. So that is going to be part of the initiation in the upcoming few weeks and months, so we can ensure the business-to-business dialogue are happening. Sectors have been already announced a year ago, so the work has been already implemented. So it's not something new when it comes to real implementation, but also to make sure that the networking and the communication between our private sectors.
Nivedita, go ahead.
Sir, this is Nivedita from the Sun.
Yeah.
So two questions. This delegation accompanying His Excellency, that's represented by which sectors, and also the bilateral trade that we have achieved so far has been driven by which areas, and what is the further potential that you see?
I think those details the officials will give it to you.
So I'm Abhimanyu from CNBC TV 18. I have two questions. So one that UAE also acts as a channel for CIS countries as far as trade with India is concerned. And we had seen earlier that the low demand had impacted exports from India. So is there any uptick expected in the short to medium term? And secondly, has there been any impact of the decision on the rupees 2000 note as far as the possibility of rupee trade is concerned?
As far as the first question is concerned, I'd like to dispel any such feeling that you have that the UAE is a channel for the CIS or any of that. UAE is a very important trading hub, and they also have very high quality infrastructure which enables them to expand trade to all over the world. So there are many large trading companies in the UAE which supply to all parts of Africa, of Latin America, Europe, Southeast Asia. So I think that relationship with the UAE is always beneficial for Indian exporters, and we would urge our Indian exporters to leverage the UAE as a hub across the world. As regards the 2000 rupee note is concerned, my friend, trade usually happens through banking channels, and there is no connection between the 2000 rupee note and trade. And lastly, in any case, the 2000 rupee note continues to be legal tender. There is no problem at all. So if anybody really wants to do a transaction of 10,000-20,000 rupees, which could be permitted as per Reserve Bank rules in cash, if somebody has come to India and wants to buy something here, he's allowed to do it. There's nothing wrong in that.
Friends, we can have two more questions.
ANI न्यूज एजेंसी से सर, जैसे कि आपने बोला काउंसिल का एक गठन होगा और उसमें जो है उसका फोकस स्टार्टअप और एमएसएमई सेक्टर्स वगैरह को होगा, तो किस तरह से ये एमएसएमई सेक्टर और स्टार्टअप सेक्टर इस टाइप से फायदा होगा उनका?
बड़े स्वाभाविक रूप से भारत के जो सूक्ष्म, लघु और मध्यम वर्ग के उद्योग हैं, उन्होंने एक बहुत अहम भूमिका निभाई है भारत के औद्योगिक विकास में, भारत के निर्यात में और भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था में। ऐसी परिस्थिति में स्टार्टअप्स एक और ऐसा हमारे सक्सेस स्टोरी है, हमारा काबिलियत है, जिसमें मात्र 7 वर्षों में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो स्टार्टअप इंडिया 5 जनवरी 2016 को लॉन्च किया था, 16 जनवरी 2016 को लॉन्च किया था, उसके बाद जो बड़ी बढ़त हुई है हमारी स्टार्टअप की दुनिया में, हम विश्व के तीसरे सबसे बड़े स्टार्टअप नेशन के रूप में उभरे। अब ये दो ऐसे सेक्टर्स हैं और साथ में सर्विसेज, जिसमें भारत की भूमिका, भारत की काबिलियत और भारत में एक प्रकार से काम और नौकरी और रोजगार के अवसर बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे गत 7-8 वर्षों में बढ़े हैं। ऐसी परिस्थिति में सीधा उनका संवाद यूएई के उद्योग के साथ, यूएई के बिजनेस से जुड़े हुए कंपनियों के साथ स्वाभाविक रूप से उनको गति भी देगा, उनको प्रोत्साहित भी करेगा, उनको नए अवसर भी खोलेगा। इससे दोनों देशों के बीच में कल्पना हुई कि ये पार्टनरशिप को हम अधिक फोकस ऐसे लोगों पे करें जिनको सीधा संवाद करने में शायद तकलीफ हो सकती है। जो बड़ी कंपनियां हैं वो तो सीधा अपना कॉन्टैक्ट्स बना लेती हैं, पहुंच जाती हैं, व्यापार कर लेती हैं, बिजनेस बना लेती हैं। छोटे लोगों को थोड़ा एक सहारा मिल जाए, उसके हिसाब से काउंसिल का गठन हुआ। I just briefly explained about the council. It'll be focused on the MSMEs and the startups and services sector, smaller people who do not get an opportunity to directly engage. The large companies always have enough opportunities. Smaller people can be given a little bit of a kickstart or a push.
Good afternoon, sir. Janani this side from BQ Prime. Two questions, sir. You had mentioned that our non-petroleum goods target is about 100 billion till 2030. Is there a total target figure including petroleum? And the second question being, which are some of the commodities that would benefit from this? We've seen gold and ICT products being particularly beneficial in the last year. So if you could also highlight that, sir.
Want to take that? Well, I don't think we put a target to the overall trade, but it did come up in our discussions this morning. And we have both agreed to encourage even greater business on the petroleum side. It's a reality that we import a lot of petroleum products, and we'd love to have UAE as one of our principal suppliers of petroleum products. Similarly, both the UAE is a large consumer of refined petroleum products, but more importantly, almost carrying forward an earlier question, they're also large traders in refined products, going beyond their own capacity. So I have requested Dr. Thani to encourage their companies to look at sourcing refined products more and more from India, so that going forward we can significantly ramp up even on petroleum products on both sides. Our imports of crude oil, and our exports of high quality refined products, in which India has significant capacities, spare capacities, and we make very high quality products. We also may like to keep in mind that some of our Indian refineries are extremely efficient and can convert very low quality crude oil from other countries into high quality refined petroleum products. So there, even though that oil may not come from the UAE, which is generally making much higher grades of crude oil, we could actually see a situation where third country petroleum products of lower quality could be refined in India into high quality products. Other than that, I think there are many sectors we have just gone through it: pharmaceutical, textiles, footwear, furnishings, furniture. There's a whole gamut of activities in which India can be a large supplier of goods, large number of services from India which can go to the UAE. And of course, they have strengths in the field of petrochemicals and certain areas where I think we will enjoy the fruits and benefits of this SEPA on the UAE side.
I will add, I'll just add to what His Excellency said. When it comes to oil,
Yeah, it's on.
when it comes to oil trade, India for us is a strategic nation. So we'll be always there to support the industrial boom in India. We don't need a target. So whenever there is a need, you will see the UAE backing and supporting India. On the second question regarding the exports and imports, from the Indian side, we start seeing a huge growth when it comes to textile, food security, agriculture, footwears, automobiles, products as well, gems and jewelries being increasingly imported from India to the UAE. From the UAE side, we start seeing growth in the volume of iron, steel, aluminum, and polymers. So those some of the projects of many that's already experienced some of the growth. Thank you.
Thank you.
To His Excellency, thank you, Honorable Minister. Friends, you can join in the next Zoom where Honorable Ministers will be making opening remarks to the business community. Thank you, sir.